Tonight I would like to speak a little bit about change and about our attitudes towards change and about surrendering to change. As the old cliche goes, the only thing that is constant in life, that is a third-dimensional life, is change. There is a tendency among physical entities to live this life in patterns of existence, patterns of beliefs, patterns of behavior. There is a desire within the self for security and safety and peace. There is a desire for that truth which is unchanging, that which is constant. And there is a desire to attempt to create this experience in our lives externally, and there is a tendency among human beings, a natural tendency, a natural inclination to attempt to avoid changes that are seeking to infringe upon the patterns that we live by. And in all attributes, in all areas of your life, this is true. It could be in your physical life, in your spiritual life, in your emotional life. So it becomes very important for those on the spiritual path to understand the illusory nature of physical reality, third and fourth dimensional realities. I'm including your emotional lives as well as your physical lives and your intellectual lives. It becomes very important for you to understand the illusory nature of this and to learn to flow with the changes that are inherent within that system. And the more you grow in your spirituality, the more you become your immortal self, the more apparent it becomes to you the illusory qualities of your physical embodiment and your emotional lives and your situations and patterns. The more you expand your awareness to meet and greet the immortality that you are, the more change seems to come about as a result of this, or the more your perspectives change, and the more your older reference points become a little bit more slippery. You could say that you are in your spiritual path, in your ascension path. You have taken a journey from the solid shore, and you are walking across the ice to another shore that awaits you, and all that you once believed was real and all that you once believed was solid and dependable now recedes into the distance. Your old reference points are no longer effective in maintaining your grip on reality, and you have to pull yourselves in a little bit more to simply be in that balanced state, just as that person who is walking across a frozen pond must maintain their balance very intently. When you are walking on what you would refer to as a solid earth, it is not so important. But when you are walking on ice, you will take perhaps a shorter strides, you will maintain your balance point, and you will focus very much on the present moment, on that present balance point that is all important. and you will find that your mind does not wander quite so much. Or if it does wander, you might find yourself slipping and sliding a little bit. And so it is for you, each of you who are on this beautiful ascension path. Change is the order of the day, and even those reference points that you used to hold so dear to yourselves in your spirituality seem to change and shift, and new energies make themselves available to you, and old energies recede. And you find yourself perhaps pulling in a little bit, balancing a little bit more, being more in the moment, more focused on one step at a time on your path, not looking up so much to see what is coming in the future, or not dreaming so much about what occurred in the past. So you are in the field of changes. You are realizing the illusory nature of third and fourth dimensional realities, and the old securities that you may have used for your feelings of safety, for your feelings of satisfaction, no longer effective. And you have only your spirit and your connection with your guidance to use as a balance point. And your spirit you find perhaps only present in one moment, in this individual moment that you find yourself in. And perhaps you find from time to time that you have only your own beingness and the energy that you feel inside of yourself. And at times it may even feel that this too is shifting. Your meditation may seem different. Your channeling experiences may seem different. It is the nature of this path that you walk, that all illusion will fall away, and you will be left with only your own divinity. And you will find your own divinity expanding as you enter it, to include all experience. And you will find that you have expanded to include all, that you have indeed merged with that God essence that is in all. And then you have no more need of securities, or no more need of the belief patterns for your security. You are only being. You are not separate from that creative force. You know that there is no separation from it, and that whatever energies you are feeling at that point are perfectly appropriate and perfectly aligned and containing all that is, all that God presence that you have strived to achieve. So it is somewhat an experience of pulling in your attachments and your connections with external realities for a time while you cross the ice, while you balance in the moment, until you attain to that other shore where you again find yourself expanding, but in a new way, expanding in a divine way, not out of attachment or fear, but out of simple presence, emerging with the presence of all that is, and still a wonderful delight in your own personality, in your own divine personality that is there also. So what is the number one reaction that human beings might have to change? I am not speaking of any of you, of course. I am speaking of humanity in general. Well, there are reactions of fear. There are reactions of denial. There are sometimes reactions of enthusiasm and joy. many different reactions to change. At present upon this earth, the underlying reality towards change is one of fear. And there is a tendency among human beings that they are desiring as little change as possible so as to be less confronted by it. For change is growth and change is demanding upon us. It demands a shift in our reality, a shift in our consciousness, an expansion of our frame of reference. So there are many, many beings upon this earth who are doing all that they can within their consciousness and in their belief patterns and in their creations to keep change from occurring in their individual lives and in the life of the planetary structure as well. And this energy is that which is being broken apart a little bit now with this new energy that is coming in. I'm sure you have perhaps felt it in your own lives. It is somewhat of a disintegrating energy as it disintegrates old patterns. It disintegrates illusions. It is a light which is very powerful and very loving, yet it can be somewhat confronting to those who are attached to limited reality rather than to truth. It is necessary to disintegrate that which is illusion in order that that which is truth might be apparent. The truth does not change. The truth has been here. It is inherent within every atom of the creation. It is within your consciousness. It is within each of you continually. But humankind has overlaid upon this basic, beautiful reality many layers or veils of fear and denial, doubt, and all sorts of what you would refer to as negative emotions, negative experiences. In order that the light might penetrate, it must dissolve these. What this can feel like to each individual is a falling away of old securities, a feeling of being a little bit more up in the air, a little bit less balanced perhaps. There can be reactions of fears and doubts and confusion. There will be reactions after processing this of enjoyment, enthusiasm, and great joy to welcome these new energies into your being, into the beings of all humans, hopefully. And this is the process that we find ourselves in the midst of. It is for you who are the light workers to learn to accept these changes in energies, to learn to adapt to them and to release the old patterns, to balance yourselves in each moment, in your beingness and not in your projection desires and projected fantasy realities. It is you who will pave the way across the ice field, you who will leave your footprints upon the snow so that others may follow in your footprints. This is the reason that you have come here to this planet at this time. This is the reason you have taken third-dimensional physical embodiment. You know, ascended masters don't leave footprints in the snow. Human beings will need to see those visible reminders, those visible signs of the possibility of this new consciousness, this new reality. So each of you are taking those dramatic steps across the ice, balancing as best you can, slipping and sliding a little bit. Sometimes it is impossible even to think about where you are going because you are so focused upon the moment-to-moment experience, taking one step after another. And in doing so, you often forget where you are going. You have no way of being certain how long it will take you to arrive. You see, this path becomes a very all-encompassing to you. It becomes a very strong focus. And your spiritual growth becomes your number one priority. And where you place your next footstep becomes very important to you. Much more so than when you were running across the lawns of summer in your youthful enthusiasm, partaking in all of the illusions. So it is your choice, you see. Change is inevitable. It is not going to be something that is an option for you. Change is present. It will be present for some time. And change in your very atomic structure, change in your very nature, change at the most basic level of your being, as you change from a physical embodiment into a light body. The tendency is for your mind and for your emotional self to feel at times fear or confusion. It is a time for you to have ultimate trust and faith. In fact, this is what change demands of you. It demands that each of you who have taken the choice to be here as light workers and have taken the conscious choice to follow the ascension path, it demands that you surrender to that which is required for you to experience that very ascension. The fulfillment and completion of your earth missions, at least as far as your physical embodiment goes. So for those of you who have really applied yourselves to this ascension path, you may find that these words and these ideas are striking home to you. If you can feel this within your hearts, within your beings, in alignment with this, know that you are very near to the end of your journey. And yet even at the end of your journey, there is the necessity for you to focus upon the moment that you are in rather than upon the goal and end of your journey. In fact, there comes a point when you must release all attachment to anything but this one moment you are in and simply be and give yourself with surrender to the presence and to the energies that you are experiencing, whatever they might be. It is surrender which is at times apparently difficult. You are not taught how to surrender to the moment. You are taught how to create better and better realities for yourself. You are not taught to surrender to that which is and to stop creating realities. Yet this is what is required of you. For by ceasing to create further limited realities, you allow the space within yourself for true reality to rise up and embrace you. And that reality feels like love, and it looks like light, and it is not attached to phenomenon. It is not attached to ascension waves. It is not attached to pleasure and pain. It is the ultimate reality present in each moment that you are to unlock with your surrender and openness, and with your devotion. And this will allow you the freedom to exist joyfully, enthusiastically, even in the midst of change, unaffected by all the creations of humanity. So many creations. You have what you can see and feel and touch around you, your physical realities. Yet there are emotional layers of realities that you exist, that you pass through each day in your encounters in this world. There are layers and layers of illusion that you, the blinding, brilliant lights that you are, pass through and illuminate and dissolve by your presence. Truly it is a phenomenon to witness. And right now we are witnessing the compression of all of those layers of reality that are illusion, that are not truth. Those that are no longer necessary, those that do not serve any longer in this new age that is manifesting. The higher dimensional energies of the fifth dimension are compressing and intensifying, perhaps, those third and fourth dimensional energies, squeezing them out of the picture, melting them. And this is one of your roles being here at this time. Perhaps you are witnessing this occurring in your lives, that you are, by your very presence, by your beingness, by your giving yourself to light, you are dissolving much illusion, your own illusions and those general human illusions that surround you. That is why they say, have the expression that it is a clear space. Everyone wants to live in a clear space. A clear space is one where there has been enough release of light of higher dimensional energies that it has dissolved the old patterns, the old illusions, the invisible spider webs of human emotional realities. And very sticky they can be. Your path is to burn as brilliantly as you possibly can, so that these spider webs cannot stick to you but will dissolve instantaneously upon contact with your auras, and to shine as examples of how to live in a clear space, unaffected by fear, doubt, confusion. This does not mean that you need to be perfect. It does not mean that you need to never experience fear or confusion or doubt. You will feel these. It is your human self. But in your feeling of them, know that you are dissolving them. And let that be the difference between yourselves and those who are still living in third dimensional reality. So change is everywhere. It is within you. If you can give yourself to your truth, the aspect of yourselves that is unchanging, that beingness that you are, give it to your consciousness as a gift in meditation. The part of you that is seeking for security will find it in meditation. You will find that stillness and that beautiful love energy that is your connection with the Creator. And this will be your sanctuary. It will be your anchoring point. It will be your frame of reference, so that as you walk through the garden of changes, you are safe and secure in the awareness of that ultimate reality. This is how you can enjoy the change. For from that perspective, change is enjoyable. It is quite wonderful to behold all of the changes that are occurring. If you have a higher perspective on the changes that are occurring, you too will see them from our perspective with enthusiasm and in a sense of wonder at the handiwork of the Creator as he turns yet another planet of third-dimensional illusion into a fifth-dimensional beautiful Eden. This is a perspective that you can share with us, that you will share with us more and more as time goes along. But you mustn't be attached to judging and criticizing your experiences. This is another trap that your mind can play upon you, another trick. There is always a desire to be in a different experience than that which you find yourself in. You must be present in the moment and open yourself to experience that which you are feeling, that which you are seeing and hearing, sensing. And bring the light of Spirit into that experience through your own breath for realignment or dissolving or whatever is necessary. That which is truth when touched by the divine presence, the divine essence, that which is truth will blossom, that which is of illusion will dissolve. So all you need to do is breathe your way through your lives and let the changes that are meant to take place quite spontaneously. It is surrendering your control a little bit more that will allow you to do this. Surrendering the control that you desire to have over change. You know you can't even be attached to the way your meditations feel. One day it will feel one way, the next day it will feel another. One day you will say, I used to be able to channel all the time and now all I see is light. Or you may feel that I used to be able to meditate and today I feel that I can't even begin. It is a surrendering to the process that you are undergoing with trust and faith. If you are sincere in giving yourself to the light will take you. And we who are overshadowing you continuously will not desert you. There may be times when, because of your own process, the intensity of your own emotional release, you may not be able to feel us as clearly, but I tell you we are always there. And by we I mean the Ascended Masters, your own guides and teachers, the angels, all of your fifth dimensional, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and beyond dimensional friends and colleagues that we are, your family. So when times get a little bit intensified for you, and when you feel perhaps things dissolving around you, and when you feel perhaps your own personality and your own patterns and your own reference points dissolving, take heart and know that it is the light that is dissolving them, that you are not falling into chaos, but that you are awakening and opening to a higher dimensionality of experience. And it is your giving yourself to this process with trust and faith that allows it to occur as quickly, as gracefully as possible. And you do this, of course, in your meditations. It is not something that you can think yourself into. You cannot necessarily think yourself into a state of surrender. It is something that just happens to you. And it will be much more likely to just spontaneously happen to you if you are applying the discipline of meditation in your lives. How many times have you sat in meditation struggling to achieve a certain focus or experience, only to realize that you can't do it, you can't create that experience that you are longing for, and then something occurs quite subtly within you, a sense of release or a sense of letting go of control or not trying so hard. A letting go takes place, and suddenly you find yourself in that beautiful experience. It's a mysterious path. And from your perspective, it is impossible to understand all of the ins and outs and what is occurring with you. But I tell you, what is occurring with you is magnificent. So enjoy yourselves as best you can within this ever-changing panorama of experience. And have faith and trust. And know that you are being provided for.